Is our favorite game, NHL 22. Now, we talked a little bit about the closed technical test that happened, but this is a big game for me, and I would say for us, barring Pez because he doesn't have a console, but we're all hockey fans. I know a lot of our folks enjoy a good game of hockey. And tomorrow, when this airs, probably a few hours after at noon Eastern time, because we're the best, the 10-hour EA Access trial begins. It's a full game, 10-hour trial. And then next Tuesday, it's for the people who pre-order the game. And then on Friday, it's for the plebs. They made a lot of big changes. And I've been doing some videos on the trailers, but like just to highlight a few big points. Be a Pro, they're going to do objectives that carry over into season 2, which people kind of lost interest after the first season. I played one game. X factors are there, which are borrowed from Madden. So players, by doing something, maybe having the example I like is after deking, Austin Matthews gets a unique animation for his wrist shot.
Of all the players,
the guy in the cover.
Of all the players.
Okay, how about this? For the Bruins,
I'm just happy he had his clothes on the cover.
It was you got to pre-order the special edition to get the
they get the Arizona
version.
The Arizona security guard edition where she sues him.
For our Bruins fans, it came out with the top 50. Bergeron was number 13. Marchand was number 12, and Pasta number 11.
Patrice Bergeron, sexiest man alive.
Yeah, he is.
Ooh, facts, big facts,
hands down.
That's not a debatable statement. And then you have Marchand, who's right above him, and then you have Pasta, who's on a box of pasta over there behind my wall. If you go to
honestly, I'm excited to get those.
So it's the game is looking good, and the mode we play is Hut. You get to make your own team. They did a lot of quality of life changes. They listened to their fans. This mode called Squad Battles, which you had to play the AI, gets 4 full games every day.
So boring.
It's so bad. You can now play them whenever you want. You can refresh 8 times, and they just reset at the end of the week. And you can adjust the period length so I can play 6-minute games, 2-minute periods instead.
Are threes back? Like that mode that I was like in the outdoor rink thing?
Yep. So as far as we know, threes is back. Ones, because it was in the demo. So 3s, 1s, that's all part of.
Yeah, there was the demo. I can't believe it. It literally was the demo.
That's all it was.
And if anybody out there, the most important thing that Wabba's left out, my last name is in the game. Right. There was a lot of pressure put on Mr. Clappy when he put out a tweet earlier in the summer. I got a reply, and I got the regulators. They mounted up. And they liked the living daylights out of this tweet and continued to say, put that in there. And I can confirm that my last name is finally in an NHL game. I had someone reply and say that my last name was in there. I didn't feel like dunking on the person for not being correct, but that's fine. He was like, no, it was in there once. And I was like, you know what, bud? I'm going to have to say I've been buying the game since 94. Yeah, no, it wasn't. It was never been in the game. This will be the first time. And I'm also happy to say that my cousin's last name, Cassidy, is also in the game. And pretty sure it was also peer pressure. So it's going to be awesome. I can make my dad and I can make my cousin, and then we can find Wabba's team and beat them.
And you can be play-by-play name Wabba as well if you want -10 penalty to defense.
Interesting.
Interesting. Can we talk about one of the biggest implementations in NHL 22 that is long overdue? Roster share.
Yes.
Ooh, coming back. Explain to me, how does that work?
So basically how it works is if I know Tugi 24 is going to do it, but if someone wanted to painstakingly go over the roster and make it better, which is they can do that by doing their own ratings, changing everything so it's whatever. You basically upload it to a server, and then everyone else can download it and use that roster. So
why would are we saying that EA doesn't update the rosters fast enough?
Most people will do it because they don't believe whoever makes the game does a good job making the rosters.
Oh, so they're just okay. I'm just gonna
things. Handedness is wrong. Maybe some stats aren't as strong as they should be. That's what Tugi does.
And also there's
I don't like
back
them.
back
He's right, though.
back in I think it was like NHL 13 or 14. It was called the NHL Revamp Project, and what these roster makers did was they used the entirety of the rating scale to add separation between players. So if you have played NHL franchise, like the franchise mode for a long time, once you get into like the later years, year 4, 5, 6, right? And you're like Ovechkins and your Bergerons retire and they start like creating players, you'll find that there is like a log jam in the 80s. And you will have like unrestricted free agents in the 80s who don't get signed to a team because everyone is 80 plus, right?
That makes sense. Yeah. Oh, I remember that.
So something like this now, if like, if Wabba wanted to do rosters and make sure that like your 90 plus is your elite players and your 80 plus are your good players and your 70 plus are your average players and your 60 plus are your plugs or whatever. Now you can share that with people.
There's no such thing as a plug who plays in the NHL.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
I want to correct you. You know how I get sensitive about this?
All right. Your fourth liners and up and comers.
Thank you. I like that. Sounds better. Well, and you know what? That makes sense because you could see a guy like Jack Stagnica probably get good ratings in a game in the past when, he probably was going to start in Providence. And the game will automatically, I do get frustrated when I play an NHL game and automatically, like, I'm trying to put the lines together and it keeps putting this line. I'm like, no, that guy shouldn't even be in the top. Like, why are you putting him in the top 6? Like, what are you doing? Why are you putting that? Why is that guy in 83? Why? So, okay, that I get. Yeah. I also, like, you look at the players, like the Toronto Maple Leafs for some reason, whenever I played, like, last year's game, every guy on the team was rated 80 plus. I'm like, what? They can't even get into the first round of the playoffs. Like, really? Really?
Yeah,
really, people? Really?
And I get it because like the thing with EA and 2K, right? The sports games is like you want to keep the players happy. So if Mitch Marner is like an 80 and Mitch Marner's all pissy about it, right? Like Mitch Marner might not do like an event or whatever you want him to do, right?
That's a point I never even thought of.
Like ratings are a big deal. Like if EA was going to put you in a game, Wabba, and you're like, yeah, I'm a good player. If I had to guess, I'm probably an 85. And they're like, actually, you're a 73. You'd be like, what are you doing?
I'd be flattered.
So like, it's a big deal with players in sports games of what their rating is, especially the younger kids, right? Because like they grew up playing these games. So they to them, it means something. So that's why I think you find kind of an over inflammation of some players' ratings at times.
Well, Wabba, you put out was it you that put out the goalie ratings, or I saw that like the top 10 goalies, or no, the top 15, and I think there was even goalies in there. I'm like,
yeah, Tuukka's number 3. He's not playing.
Not even on a team.
Yeah, but that's fine. That's showing that Tuukka is well liked across the league. Just in Boston, they treat him like doggy poop.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying he's not. It's just that was weird to see.
I'll drop this one because it doesn't matter because this is not a hockey podcast. Tuukka will be back. He is literally at the Boston Bruins training camp. He was there. He's getting helped out by the Bruins training staff. Like, he's a Boston Bruin. Don't worry about it.
I mean, I'd like him.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, for the for the
3 Bruins fans listening.
But, or for anybody, if you take Tuukka Rask in your hockey pool, in the Wabba hockey pool, that is, you
that draft.
Yeah, you do.
Yep,
I can't do everything for you.
So you can't.
So roster sharing too. One thing I actually didn't think about, but something someone brought up is, let's say that you want to recreate the glory days, and you do a draft. You create all the players from old.
Are we talking Bruce Springsteen glory days?
No. Maybe, but you could put Bruce Springsteen in the game. You could put me, Pez, Ford, create your own.
Glory days.
No, we're gonna get DMCA'd.
How? But if I'm singing, how are they gonna DMCA us?
It sounds exactly the same.
It doesn't matter. There's no way. My voice
it's
is
true.
not.
Court and Bruce Springsteen actually sound the same.
People can do covers well, but you can't DMCA that
right now.
I've also never seen both of you in the same place.
Well,
True.
I am almost 70.
We need Courtney Cox dancing on stage with Court to really make sure it's real.
But it's the glory days, a la Bruce Springsteen. If you wanted to make a roster from a certain year, maybe with a little Bobby Lalonde in there,
Passing
you could,
around glory days.
and then you could make a
Wailing
franchise
with the
mode.
young girls, glory days. Glory days. Dun, 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 dun. Sorry, it's just I can't. I can't.
I'm gonna just drop glory days every episode and see what happens. Can't wait.
But
But yeah, it's
good
gonna be
tune.
good. They've had a few trailers that came out. They had a Be a Pro in franchise mode one. That one was fine. They introduced roster sharing. That was whatever. That was good. Not for me. And then they did a hut one today, and everybody, the YouTube chat, which was usually LLL, you suck, this sucks, everybody sucks. It was filled with the letter W. That means dub, win for the uninitiated. I was shocked how positive people were being. It's like someone paid them. But
Guys, stop pressing mute on your mic, please. Stop
Sorry.
it.
I was moving
But yeah.
around. I didn't want you to hear.
You know what Antonio's doing right now? Stop it.
I know.
But yeah, so that's coming out. And
All right, Wabba.
really excited.
Wabba, why was it W's?
Yeah, because I don't play Hut.
So they have upgradable cards that you can upgrade with coins or player cards, or what's called upgradable collectibles that you can find that you can earn. So it's not just these. What used to happen was you would have to trade in these players for gold collectibles. You would have to use X amount of gold collectibles to create a player. If it sounds confusing and silly, it is. It turned the whole thing into like currency based. Now you can just find these things, or you can just pay coins.
Well, hold on. They turn it into all thing into currency. It almost sounds like it was like gambling in a bit. And maybe it's because in Europe they're not allowing them to put out their games with that anymore. That they had to change the system. I don't know. Just
that's different.
nothing to do with it. Okay.
No,
I just want to make sure.
I think they did it to make it more accessible.
Oh, I thought it was because they wanted to get around the rules in Europe where they weren't allowed to do those little loot boxes anymore, and they couldn't do all that other stuff that they were doing in FIFA. Maybe, just maybe. They had to change the way they were doing it. Oh,
No.
okay.
No, couldn't be them.
I'm going to Google that.
Do it.
No,
but honestly, I think it was an accessibility thing because the gold collectibles was one of the reasons I stopped playing Hut, because it's like at some point you hit a ceiling where it's like, oh, you need 15 gold collectibles, and they're ridiculously hard to find.
And
unless you're Wabba and you play like 500 games.
I play so much. But also these upgradable cards, you can downgrade. So once you upgrade them once, they become untradeable. But you can also downgrade them, you get coins back, and once it's at its base level, it's now tradable. So instead of inflating the market with what they put it, so upgradable Matthews starts at like 76, which is very low. His base card is like an 83, let's call it. You can continue to upgrade him to an 83 and then to his highest card. His first card is going to be a 91, so you can upgrade him to a 91.
Let's say you're putting his pants on.
Exactly. Then let's say and you pull a 95 Matthews. Now you want to get rid of this one. You downgrade it, and now you can sell him, and it still has value.
You're pulling his pants off. Jesus, you really are Austin Matthews.
Oh, man.
I wish I had another example, but it's just cool how they're making it more accessible. And they had team builder sets, which I did all three, where you had to get every player from every team, and it price locked these 78 overall players at like 10,000 coins because there were so few. Well, now you just need any player within a range. So instead of you need 76 overall Bungus for the Coyotes.
Bungus, dude, can you say that?
We'll find
out. Is that the B word?
That was the B word. Nice callback. Now you just need X amount of players between 76 and 82, which could be Bungus or it could be, Marty.
I guess this makes sense because, like, I remember last year when I bought it and I said to you, I was like, "Oh, I might play Hut," and you were like, "Yeah, I don't think you can."
You need a master's in engineering to figure out Hut if you're like brand new, fresh off the street.
Well, and
I have a hard enough time editing my lines in Hut. I mean, and then understanding why I need a contract. I'm like, what's even the point of these contract cards when everybody just gets guys that don't?
Oh, they got rid of them, thank God. But
yeah, those are pointless.
Well, it was frustrating because, like, you want to put together, let's say, like the Bruins pack, right? And you have to find a Derek Forbort or whatever, and he's like 8,000 coins because there's 5 of them out there because he stinks and no one's going to use him, right? Like,
wow. Okay, tell us how you really feel about a player that you've barely seen only in preseason.
I'm just talking about, like, in Hut, if he's below a 90, you're not going to use him.
So, yeah, 80 plus cards or 79 and lower were actually worth more at a point in time than 80 plus because you're guaranteed 80 plus cards in certain packs. And in the garbage packs that you would get these low overall players, you would get silvers. So it was more rare to pull a garbage card. I was getting excited at one point over 76s more than I
You
was
get
like 85.
excited? Wabba, I've never seen you get excited on a stream.
Yeah.
Like ever. Like today when you were barely opening a pack and you had a hype train.
Yeah, I got a base pack on that one. That was fun. But yeah, it's gonna be cool. I can't wait. And all I have to do is wait 60 more hours.
And you will be streaming it tomorrow.
No one trips Bergeron. No one. Sorry, I'm sorry to the audio listeners and visual listeners. I am watching a hockey game while doing this podcast. So if you're watching on video, you can see my eyes turning to the other corner. And for the audio listeners, you have no clue until I just told you.
Boom. Get
So
nerds.
NHL 22, you could say, is taking flight tomorrow.